Okay, so this will be our second game of Majestic 13 with our team, the Brave Socks. We have our mission, which we rolled. It's in an urban setting, as you can see. I decided that the monstrosity, which is a Deranger, this lovely little fella here, he has attacked this hospital area. We have had our first responders have come in with an attempt to secure the area. Sadly, they were killed. Of course, the civilians have cleared. This is a strange formation that has occurred due to the incursion of our baddie. We have a couple of dead, so we're going to have to do some brain wiping of the civilians who have been exited. We may even have civilians still in our hospitals. 2 beacons have been dropped on either side of the enemy's quadrants. Terrain wise, we have an area of cover here. If you're within this area here or this area here, we can count that you have cover. And so I haven't played, that's probably something I should mention as well. I haven't played in ages, maybe a month was since the first game. So I'm going to have to try and remember. Now, from off the top of my head, we have, if you're in cover, you roll 2d20 and you take the lowest, which is disadvantage. I can't remember on what reason you would have advantage. Why would you have advantage? Let me just quickly check this. I must remember to call for aid because I forgot that as well. I can't remember why you would have advantage. I roll 2d20 and take the first one. Maybe I'll quickly pause this, read that, and then come back. You don't. That's why. That's why I couldn't remember whether you did or not, because you don't. Basically, that's how you deal with cover. Cover is 2d20 and you take the lowest result. So I need to get my second d20 out. So let's use 2 greens. So, as I was saying, first responders, basically we'll have areas of cover. If you're blocking line of sight cover, standard stuff. And I think that's about it really. I'm going to forget loads of stuff because that's the way I roll. I just need to try. So I haven't done the food bar. I did roll bureaucracy and bureaucracy came up as nothing. As I said, we've got a beacon and a beacon. If we come into contact with, we need to touch both beacons to get our additional experience. If we touch a beacon, then the figure that touches the beacon gets +1 to call for aid for the rest of the game. We go for, I can't even remember how many turns it goes for. 5? Is it 5 turns? On the 5th turn it ends is from memory. It's a basic game, and so it's not difficult to remember. But I have forgotten because I'm a simpleton. 5 turns. Let's say 5 turns. Ending the mission. It is 5 turns. Right, and here we go. We're on turn 1 measured here. I've got my AI. I've got my Deranger prompt. I have my team. We will place us. So we will put Tank, who is mainly our melee person, will go, so it's got to be within ours. So Tank is going to hide behind the tank. They will attempt to dash in at some point. I think we will position Snipes over here, and Snipes is going to attempt to climb on the back and then get onto the top of this building to then position themselves to be able to take some shots. We will have our captain Cap can go behind the trees with Speedy, who is this person here, because Speedy has the scanner. Not that it matters, because nobody is hidden in the opposition. And finally we have Doc. The medic is going to position themselves behind here. Now at the moment, most of them don't actually have a line of sight on our monstrosity apart from ours over here. Now initiative wise, because this is because we are a rapid response team, we get +5 initiative, and because we are Sigma 6, we get, oh no, it's because of our urban infiltration base. We get a +5 initiative for urban environments, and also Fubar is 3 to 7 is no effect, which means our acuity, whatever initiative is, I'm doing a lot of errs. Speedy Caleb goes first on 24, Cap goes second on 23, our monstrosity will go on 22, Doc will go on 21, Snipes will go on 19, Tank will go on 18, and then the monstrosity will go again on 12. I think I will use this dice over here to make to track our monstrosity's activations, and every time I flip back up to Caleb I'll reset it, and that I think is that. Our movements are dexterity, that's it. I think I've got it now. Sweet. In which case, oh yeah, so we didn't get any requisitions from memory from the last game. Nothing successfully requisitioned. I failed all those rolls. A few, somebody went up something. It was a while. I think Tank took their combat up by 1. Possibly, or Tank got, no, because Tank and Snipes went down. Maybe no one went up. I'll try and remember. I might write notes to say for next time. Anyway, let's go. Caleb is first. Speedy Caleb has a dex of 9 because it doesn't actually move fast. So Speedy Caleb is here, having a dex of 9. Speedy Caleb, hold on. Right, so Speedy Caleb will move their 9 inches. If Speedy Caleb moves up to here, then we have cover, and then we'll attempt to shoot. Now, one thing I did remember is that oh, dice from my pocket. Speedy Caleb is firing an SA-80, which will give 2 dice damage and 1 d20. It has a combat of 8, and monstrosity has a defense of 21. Rolling a 19. Oh, Speedy Caleb. Oh, this is no, does not, no crit on, because of their initiative. They do not take no crit on 1920 for surprise. So they are not critted, but so that 8 is a hit, doing a measly 3 points of damage, taking our 135 hit point monstrosity down to 132. That ends Speedy Caleb's turn, but it does mean that our monstrosity gets an action. Now, no, that's responding to a miss, isn't it? We'll make a bonus activation immediately after the conclusion of activation of the model that scores. Oh, hold on, a critical hit. A monstrosity will also activate again if it suffers a critical hit. In this event, it will take a bonus activation immediately after the conclusion of the activation of the model that scored the critical hit. May never activate. Oh, okay, well it didn't. Oh, sweet. Because that last one pounded the heck out of us. So we have next, we have Cap. Cap has a dexterity of 10. Cap is wielding an M79 launcher. So Cap might... Cap is going to trog up probably to here, I think, giving a nice angle of attack. And Cap is going to attempt to launch their rocket launcher across with their combat of 16. A rocket launcher gives a -4. So that gives a +12, needing to beat a defense of 21. 12 and 12 is 24, which then will be a hit. Good work, Cap, which is a 4d6 damage as the shell plops into the squishy brainy type thing. Come on, big numbers. Wow, big numbers. We did 16 points of damage. 16 points plops into the skull bit. What's 16 from 30? 16 and 16 is 32. So that leaves 116 hit points. Wow, good work, Cap. Cap is done, and that was a hit. So next we have the monstrosity on 22. So the monstrosity. 1. Starts activation in extreme. Doesn't. Starts activation within 1 inch of an enemy. It did not. No, it's not. So what do we have over here as well? When enemy activates within 12 inches. No. None of that was within 12 inches, was it? What is within 12 inches? Oh, close. They're both within 12 inches now. Release that. So, and if we do it, right, if the Deranger did not use Nightmare Pulse during its last activation, it will now use this action. All enemies within 12 inches of the Deranger, there's 2 of them, must succeed on a Fortitude stat check, 19, or suffer 2d6 plus 2 damage and be stunned. Well, let's check this one here, and then it will do that. Starts activation within 1 inch, no. Starts activation within its movement distance of an enemy, and there is no enemy within 1 inch. It will move to the enemy with the lowest hit points within its range. Okay. No. Okay, no. Alright, if the enemy starts the next activation, their nose within movement distance, but their enemies within line of sight, it will move and then move again to be within 1 inch. Oh no, okay, so we're easy, we've got this. Starts activation within its movement distance of an enemy, and there is no enemy within 1 inch. It will move to the enemy with the lowest hit point. So I think it's just going to attack these. And then because it would need its Nightmare Pulse, I'll tell you what, it will attack these. If they're stunned, it will move up. It will move up so as it can do its Psionic Lash, which is a melee attack, because it can make 3 attacks, so it's going to then move to within attacking distance. Yeah, did not use its Nightmare Pulse to its last activation. It will now use the activation. All enemies within 12 inches must succeed on a Fortitude stat. This one here is if enemies begin its activation, at least one enemy within 12 inches. That enemy must succeed. Okay, no, it will stay where it is because we're still within 12 inches. So it is going to attempt to do a Nightmare Pulse, which means both Speedy and Cap need to make Fortitude checks. Speedy has a 12 Fortitude, Cap has an 11, and they need to do 19. So Cap with his 11, or is it her? I can't remember. There, we will say there and be neutral. Cap with their 11 rolled a 10, so that's 21. So Cap resists the psionic waves. So there's all waves of psionic energy coming out and attacking these two and some of the birds in the trees, dropping out of the trees. And now we've got Speedy, who only rolled a 4. So Speedy's 4 makes that a fail. So a failure on the Nightmare Pulse means that Speedy suffers 2d6 plus 2 damage and is stunned, which we will use these yellows. So Speedy is stunned and suffers 2d6 plus 2, meaning that Speedy takes, whoop, that bin's gone, 7 points of damage, and Speedy is stunned. 7 points of damage on Speedy, leaving Speedy on 20 hit points. Okay. And then will it move Trog up? It's got a dexterity of 20. It's alright where it is, I think, because it's only got that one, so it will actually come up because now it can. Will it? No, I think it just stays where it is. I think based on everything here, that the AI, it stays where it is. Anyway, let's move on to Doc. So what can Doc do? Doc, who has a move of 13, can Doc get over and help Speedy, recover Speedy's stun? Is that possible with that help action to recover Speedy's stun? Doc has a med kit, so Doc can heal people within 1 inch. At the start of everyone's activation, they attempt to clear one and only one condition currently affecting them. Let me just look at the med kit. Can Doc? I might be thinking of Stargrave. Equipment. Am I going to be like this every time I play this? Where are we going? Create your team. Equipment 46. Medical kit. .1d6 plus 4 damage. No, I don't think it does. And what does stun do? Dear me, Peter. Terrible, terrible. Condition list 26. Fortitude check. When a model is stunned, their combat and dexterity scores are halved, rounded down for all checks. Okay. You can stay there. Alright, I think Doc at this stage is going to basically no one's really, so 7 points down, still on 20 hit points. Instead of wasting time doing yes, you've done one attack. Instead of wasting time healing, I think at this point Doc is going to move up. Doc was injured and Doc, that was the thing, Doc died because Doc was injured. He's on -2 on all checks next game. And Snipes was cloned, and so Snipes dexterity dropped but combat went up majorly. So Doc has a move of 13. Doc is going to get within the ability to shoot, so I think Doc is going to come around here, so Doc has a shot, maybe come around this way. So 13 is 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that would be 12. Actually, if Doc just goes to here, then Doc's outside of the 12 inches for the attack. So Doc is going to leg it around here to here, with underneath that tree. Has a view of the dude, but I'm going to say that Doc is going to have it's in cover because of where it is. So Doc's going to need to roll 2d20 rather, plus Doc's combat of 10. Doc has an SA 80 as well. Looking for 21s, which would be a 4, which is a 14, which is a miss. And next we have Snipes. Snipes is moving, which I believe means that only does 1d6 plus 2 damage, but won't get to ignore cover. Snipes is going to move there. Can only move 6. Oh hell, you're not going to get to do anything, are you? So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would put Snipes up here. I think Snipes will come across to on top of this turn and take a shot at the monstrosity. Next turn we'll get onto the roof, take a shot on the monstrosity, and then probably the third time be able to situate themselves here and get a nice view of the area. So Snipes now can take a shot, but is at disadvantage. Snipes has a 50. Oh, it takes 1 extra hit point because Cap does plus 1 hit point. So Snipes tries to do a shot, rolling a 3 and a 5. It's not enough, so misses. It's now got 1, 1, 5 because of Cap's 1 hit point, extra hit point. And so that was Snipes. Now, your friend of mine, Tank, who didn't manage to get a pistol because we failed on the requisition attempt. That was it. Tank's combat did go up. So Tank has a move of 12. I don't think that's going to get Tank to within smashing distance. So Tank is going to move 4 inches to there, and then about 8 inches to within cover here. And hide behind that truck, that car. And I suppose Tank could attempt to call in an airstrike on it, like get it down in hit points as soon as possible. We'd need to roll a 6, and you can't do anything else anyway. So this is Tank's action. We use this blue d6. So if Tank rolls a 6, this is going to be jamtastic. Oh, I should have rolled Fubar at the start. So Fubar. Oh, 6. Some Fubar did it happen. Alright, well, we'll do that at the beginning of next turn because otherwise all this is a bit... That could have been a call for action. Anyway, here we go. Call for action. Can't roll 6 twice, can I? No, I can't. Okay. So, that's the end of Tank's go. And what's our Fubar? Fubar is roll a d20. I will indeed. So what's going to happen at the beginning of this turn is a 6, which doesn't matter anyway because we are in an urban infiltration base, which means that rolling a 3 to 7 is a no event, so nothing happens. Alright, so that was Tank's go. Now we have our monstrosity going on 12, where we have, so we used Nightmare Pulse last turn. Deepened Nightmare Psionic. If the Deranger begins its activation with at least one enemy within 12 inches that is either stunned or blinded, it will utilise Deepened Nightmares. That enemy must succeed on a Fortitude save 20 or suffer an additional 5d6 damage and immediately leg it 12 inches away. Alright, so that is Speedy for now. Speedy has a Fortitude of 12. Speedy needs to beat a 20. An 8 or more. A 12. So 12 and 12 is 24. So Speedy resists that attack as this direct beam of psionic fear bursts out towards Speedy. That was the monstrosity's second go. That was the end of round 1. Round 2, and that was its second attack, but then we reset that back to 1. So beginning at the top, round 2. Speedy Caleb is suffering from stun. So pretty much what we can do is we would clear the condition. At the start of the model's activation, you may attempt to clear one and only one condition currently affecting them. To do so, they make a stat check for appropriate type, which would be Fortitude, based on the condition and target number 20. This does not require an action. It is simply the model shaking off the effect. If this is failed, the model may continue activation and must do so with that condition, which would be, what was that? That was half combat and dex scores. Okay, so Speedy is going to attempt to do this. Speedy has a Fortitude of 12, needs to beat a 20 to get rid of the stun, which rolled a 10, 22, so Speedy is no longer stunned. See, can Speedy, at 9 inches, maybe Speedy can come round to get to this beacon. Okay. Speedy can move 9 inches. 9 inches. That looks further than 9 inches. It is, but I'm just 10. So Speedy comes round. I reckon Speedy can come round to there, which will get Speedy close to. Moving to here. And attempting to shoot this thing. I think now this thing is definitely in cover. So Speedy gets 2d20. With Speedy's combat of 8, Speedy needs to beat a 21, which is its defense. Lowest dice. A 1, a natural 1, so that's an auto foul. So Speedy shoots at it and it fails. Next we have Cap. Cap will say where Cap is because Cap's got a nice shot on it. Although Doc can move up and get the other beacon, I suppose. Doc can move his way up. Cap is going to stay where he is. I'm going to say that Cap does have a shot, but then Cap is also its target. Cap has his 16 minus 4, 12, trying to hit a 21. Come on, Cap. Rolls a 16, so that hits. Doing 4d6 plus 1. Don't forget the plus 1 because of Cap's combat skill. Being a 4 and 5 plus 1 being 10, being 13 points of damage. So another shell plops into its brain pan, doing, did I say 13? I did. Taking it to 102 hit points. Oh wow. Whittling away. Okay. That was, now we have the monstrosity. So it has multiples within. So what do we have? We have nothing is within 1 inch. Starts activation within 1 inch. No. Within 1 inch. Within 1 inch if it attack. No. Monstrosity starts activation within its movement distance of enemy with it. Where there are no enemies within 1 inch, it will move to hit point. Okay, right. So let's see what it can do. Nightmare Vision. Whenever an enemy activates within 12 inches of... Sorry, both of those. They all should have done that. Oh no, that one definitely. Whenever an enemy activates 12 inches, if they are making a stat check to clear a condition from the sign code, they must roll twice and use the lowest result. Ah, bugger. Okay, I'll remember that for next time because I can't remember what I rolled for Speedy. Okay, so whenever they try and clear it within 12 inches, Psionic Healing, the Deranger heals 4 hit points whenever an enemy fails a stat check to avoid a condition. Okay, cool. Alright, I'll try and remember both those. So we've got a basic, we'll make 3 attacks with its Psionic Lash, melee, combat, psionic. If it does it must do a dex check or be blinded. So he can run up to Speedy and do that. Or we have did not use Nightmare Pulse during its last activation. It didn't use Nightmare Pulse during its last activation. All enemies within 12 inches must, so I think that would be most sensible, and it didn't use it in its last activation. So it will do Nightmare Pulse because that will attack 3 of them. That means all 3 of them must make a 19 Fortitude. So I'll take this with me. Well, that should be easy for Tank because Tank's got a 16. So Tank with his 16 is going to roll a d20 and he got a 16, so that's 32, so Tank definitely passed. Then we have Cap with Cap's 11, rolled a natural 1, so Cap fails. So Cap fails, taking 2d6 plus 2 and being stunned, 2d6. Which is 11 plus 2, which is 13. 13 points of damage for Cap, putting Cap on 13. I think Doc's going to have to run over and help. And Cap is stunned. And then finally we have Speedy again. Speedy has a fortitude of 12 and rolled a 19, so Speedy passes. So Cap is stunned and on half hit points. That's the monstrosity. Will it move? No, it's hiding in the trees. I feel like it should. I feel like it's not gone anywhere. But it's within range of everything. I mean, nothing's really doing. I mean, it is slowly being whittled down. Right, now we have Doc. Doc has a dex of 13. So Doc, can Doc get to this? Doc is exactly 13 away from that beacon. So Doc could leg it to the beacon, score the hit, and then attempt to call. Actually, Doc is going to do that as Doc's most efficient attack. Doc will leg it to the beacon. It's probably would be difficult terrain across there, I suppose. Leg it to the beacon, get within contact of the beacon, i.e. attempting to get the points for our experience. So Speedy will get that next turn. But Doc now has +1 to call for aid. So Doc is going to get on to his radio, squelch, and attempt to get. Actually, I'll get my camera after this one and take some film of this. So Doc is going to get a 2 plus a 1 for that, which he has a continual +1. An attempt to get a drone to come and do a flyby and shoot the bejeebus out of this big oozing brain. He needs to get more than a 6. He rolled a 5. A 5 plus 3 is an 8. So, drone strike successfully called. Drone strike. If this call for aid is successful, the team member may immediately make a combat attack against all enemies. The attack is ranged combat plus 21. So, as long as I don't roll a 1, basically. Doing 5d6 plus 4 damage. So as long as I don't roll a 1, he said. I rolled a 9. So that's a drone strike comes over, doing 5d6. Did I say +4? I did. 5d6 plus 4. Big numbers. Big numbers. Not big numbers. 7, 17, 19. 10, 7, 8, 9. 19. Doing 19 points of damage. Swoops over and empties into the brain, doing 19 points of damage, leaving it on 83 hit points, which is less than we got the last thing down on. 83 hit points. Its thingamajiggy is on 35 hit points, so doing 83. It's left on 83 hit points at the end of Doc's turn. So Doc successfully calls in the airstrike, successfully doing the attack. Now we've got Snipes. So Snipes, who this clone really just hasn't got the hang of having feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on top of the tree, on top of there, moved. So I mean, throwing the trees can just about get a shot, but really difficult. So, although it has a 15, 2d20, a 4 being a 19, not being enough. So it takes a pot shot, not enough. Now we have Tank. Tank with a 12. Alright, where are you, Tank? You're there. So Tank is going to be gung-ho as gung-ho. Try and occupy it by charging in to hand. Maybe stunning it. Hopefully. You never know. So Tank runs in. Has a combat of 13. We'll do +1 damage. So 13 needs to hit a 21. Rolled a 19. So that's a 32. 32. What do we have? Who's the one who does high crits? I don't think any of them have got high crits. I think that might be under Dex. So hits. Taser, 1d6, and then it must need to make a Dex save. So d6 +1, doing 7 points of damage. Good work. Knocking it down to 76. 76 hit points left. It must make a Dex check versus 27. It has a dexterity of 20. This will be amazing if it's restrained. Oh, cool it though. It's all in the reflex. 19, so definitely makes its check. And Tank is standing there toe to toe with it as it goes. So last turn it did the Nightmare Pulse, attacking Cap. It begins its activation with at least one enemy within 12 inches that is either stunned or blinded. It will utilise Deepen Nightmare. The enemy must make a Fortitude 20 save or suffer a 5d6 and then leg it. So Cap, who has a Fortitude of 11, rolls a 15, being 26. So a Fear Wave hits Cap, who... Oh, hold on. Actually, no. We've got... it starts... The monstrosity starts activation with 1 inch of an enemy. It did not attack during its last activation. It is. Including as part of it... no. It did attack as part of its last activation. Much better is that it did not attack within 1 inch. No, it attacked all of them last time. So, starts activation with 1 inch of an enemy. It attacked during its last activation. It did. Including its part of area, it will move up to its full movement distance towards the enemy with the lowest hit points within its range and make the first listed attack on its profile, which is basic action. Okay, So who's got the lowest hit points? Lowest hit points is Cap on 13. So it is going to leg it away from Dar to Cap, who is stunned, to here. It will then lash out with its psionic lash, a psionic attack where it will just do wave after wave of hate towards Cap, which is it has 3 attacks against Cap. I might as well crack out a third D20. So it has a combat of 18. Cap has a defense of 30. So it needs 12s. It's got 2 hits and a miss, which rolled an 11. So, sorry about knocking the camera. So it is doing 1d6 plus 2 on each attack, which is 2d6 plus 4, which is 3 and 3 is 6 plus 4 is 10, leaving Cap on 3 hit points. I think Doc's going to have to come over and help Cap, if Doc can come over and help Cap. This is last turn, isn't it? This is the last action of turn 2. Alright, so, and then Cap needs to make 2 Dex 18 saves, or Cap is blind as well as stunned. So 2, Cap's Dex is 10, so Cap needs to make 2 8s or be blind. Cap makes an 8 and a 12, so Cap makes it. Cap is not blinded. That's the end of round 2. Round 3. Round 3 at the top, Speedy. Can we shoot into combat? Can we shoot into combat? People who know the rules are probably... This is, again, if I put this up, which I think is highly likely. I think I've decided that I am going to start putting these videos up. I do them because, you know, you're playing games by yourself. Otherwise, if this way I'm pretending I'm talking to someone, whereas, technically speaking, I'm just talking to myself, which is alright. Shooting into cover. No, shooting into melee combat. Range. Can you shoot into? Is it going to be? I suppose I could just make a call, which is you randomly decide who you're going to shoot. I mean, they're not magical shots, are they? That's cover. Hidden surprise. Creating a team. Line of sight. Couple of signs hidden. Condition, removing conditions. Conditions. Good against failures. Combat steps. If an attack has a melee keyword, the target must be 1 inch. Suffering damage, combat. Alright, we're going to say, because I'm not going to keep looking up, we're going to say that if you do shoot into combat, it could hit either of them. I'm pretty sure that'll be what it is. So, this is Speedy. Speedy is not going to want to do that because Speedy might hit Cap. Cap can run away at this next turn. So I think, oh man, I'm going to to pause it and look it up. I'm going to pause this so you don't have to watch me look this up, and then I'll look it up and then I'll return because it's important, I reckon. Still going? Yeah, going. Okay, so I couldn't find it quickly. So I couldn't find it in a quick enough time. So what I'm going to say is it's the equivalent of cover, I guess. So it feels like in a quick check I couldn't find it, and that actually it's like the 50-50. In which case Speedy, let's do it that, because Speedy wouldn't do it. Speedy's not going to risk cap, and I can't remember what I did last time. So Speedy is going to run over to here and score the beacon. Yeah, run over and score the beacon. And then that's the end of Speedy's turn, because Speedy can't fire into the combat because Speedy doesn't want to accidentally hit Cap. Cap is going to, I think Cap is going to leg it over to wherever old Doc's over here. Cap is stunned, so first off Cap is going to attempt to get rid of Cap's stun condition, which means that whenever an enemy activates within 12 inches and then make a stat check to clear the condition with the summon keyword, they roll twice and use the lowest. If Cap fails, the Deranger will heal 4 hit points. Cap is stunned, which is a fortitude check at 20. Cap has an 11 fault, so the lowest number must roll a 9. We've got a 4 and an 8, so that fails, which means that the Deranger will heal 4 hit points. Cap's agility is halved, meaning the Cap will only be able to retreat 5. So Cap can retreat 5 inches, which takes Cap to... Doc is over there, so Cap is going to move to here. No, Cap's going to try and get to here, which puts Cap still within there, and then Cap is going to attempt to shoot at the thingamabobsits, but it's halved, so that would be 16 halved, 8 minus 4 is 4, so giving Cap a technical 4. Oh yeah, let's heal that, putting it on 80 hit points. So Cap has technically a combat of 4, needing to hit a defense of 21. An 11 plus 4, 15, so Cap misses, which puts Cap there. Now we have the monstrosity. Okay, so nothing is within 1 inch of it because Cap ran away. No, so within movement distance, there are no enemies within 1 inch. It will move to the enemy with the lowest hit points within its range and attack. Okay, so that is Cap again. But it does have Deepened Nightmare. If the Deranger begins its activation with at least 1 enemy within 12 inches that is stunned or blinded, it will utilise Deepened Nightmare. That enemy must succeed on the Fortitude stat 20 or suffer an additional 5d6 damage, which will kill Cap because Cap's on 3. So Cap must Cap must make a stat check on 20. Cap has a Fortitude of 11. Come on, Cap. Nat 1. So I'm not even going to bother rolling. Cap has, so it's going to take, Cap takes 5 hit points, which would be 2. So Cap is on -2. Okay. Cap is on -2. So that was the Cap's out. That's the monstrosity on monstrosity's first go. Twingy shoulder. This was going to be Doc. This was Doc's attempt to help. Bugger. Because he was the one with the biggest. Where did I put the here? Right, Doc. Doc has a dexterity of 13. Doc needs to get so as if Doc legs it to the other side of this car here, Doc's on an easy straight shot, and that is within 13. So Doc is going to manoeuvre to here on this side of the car. As there's nothing Doc can do for Cap at the moment. Cap's got all blood running out of his ears as all these psychic bursts have just been injuring him, and then Doc will attempt to shoot. Doc has a combat of 10, meaning that Doc needs to roll an 11 to get a shot on this thing. Come on, Doc, get hit. No, a 6. Doc bursts. Obviously, the panic has slightly put Doc off, and Doc's not too sure. Now we've got Snipes. Snipes can stay exactly where he is and get a shot. So Snipes isn't going to move, and in not moving, Snipes gets to do 2d6 plus 4, or plus 5 including Snipes plus 1. Snipes ignores cover, so just rolls 1d20 plus 15. So Snipes will zoom in, zero in, and fire. Rolling a 19. What is it? Is it Dex that gives? Where's the stats? Stats is here. Here we are. No Sonic, no Fortitude, Dex. No. That would be combat, wouldn't it? This is a combat of 18 plus. They score critically on 19 and 20 instead of just on 20. So that's a hit, meaning we do 2d6 plus 5 damage. Come on, big numbers, big caliber round. Hopefully pierces our brain thing. Oh, not bad. So that's I rolled a 9 plus 5. That's 14 points. It was on 80. 14 points puts it on 66. Yes, 66. Cool. We're not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. Okay, so that was Snipes who got that shot in. Still hasn't been critted, which means it hasn't had its extra sort of go thing. Right, Tank. Can Tank run up with his 12 inches? Yeah, you can. So Tank is going to dash up, bounding over these, bounding over that, squishing into the Donald Trump lookalike dead figure, which is down here, which I can't remember where I got it from. And Tank will use, this is her, but it's a male figure, their 13 combat, needing to hit a 21, rolled a 4, so that's a 17, so that's a miss, and is within 1 inch of the monstrosity, whose turn it is. Being within 1 inch of the monstrosity, starts out from 1 inch, and it did not attack it during its last activation. Correct. It will attack that enemy, so it will use its basic psionic claws. Oh no, that's the telemark spawn, Deranger. It will use its psionic lash, making 3 attacks with a psionic lash, melee combat. So 1, 2, 3. It has a combat of 18. Tank has a because with his shield as well, has a defense of 31. So it has a 13. So that's a miss. Hold on. It's got an attack of 18, not 13. 18 and 4 is 22, a miss. 18 and 8 is 26, a miss. 18 and 16 is 34, is a hit. So we have one hit doing d6 plus 2, doing 8 points of damage on tank, taking tank down to 23. And now tank must make a dex check against 18, being a 12. Dex check against 18 needs 6 or more. Now rolled 16, so saving, becoming blinded. And that was the monstrosity's second turn, which is all of its activations. We are now on round 4. We've scored both of our beacons. Sadly, tank is next to it. Well, what did I say? I said that would be a. I said that would be in cover, didn't I? I really need to look this up, particularly because we have characters like tank that charges in, and I can't remember because I'd only just read the rules last game, so I remembered it. But it was such a long time ago, I cannot remember. Though really, because it was a long time, because I have one hospital, but it took me a while to print the other hospital. The camera is a long way away and it's not a great camera, so you can't see. It was a very rushed job painting it, and I also wanted to have more than one ambulance because it's a hospital scene, so they would have more than one ambulance. And so I had to print 2 ambulances and paint those up. They came quicker, and doing the transfers was a lot faster. But getting the hospital printed out, which is Corvus Games, these hospitals, they're really good. They also do, which I digress, but they also have an awesome pub that I really want to print. It would be more for a zombie because it is from Shaun of the Dead, which is an awesome film, one of my favourites, and the pub is the Winchester, and it looks exactly like the Winchester. It's fantastic. I really need to have some pub tables to stick out the front when I do that one. But anyway, so we have Speedy. Let's see. So at the moment we've got tankies in the way. I don't like the idea of that. So Speedy is going to try and create an ability to get a shot on and not hit tank, which would be, so Speedy has a 9-inch. I don't think Speedy can get there. Speedy could run across to here, and then on Doc's turn, Doc can leapfrog over. So Speedy is going to leg it over to here, which puts Speedy in blocking Doc, but makes me feel less bad about basically Speedy shooting a tank in the back. I'm gonna look as soon as this game finishes. I'll look up. I'll read, take more time, slowly read through and look up those rules. But I'm positive that I'm cheating. Positive I'm cheating. But it's just me. No one's watching. So Speedy runs up. Speedy is going to take a shot. Is at disadvantage. Has an 8 combat. Needs to hit a 21. 11 was the lowest, so that's a 19. So Speedy misses. Cap is out of action. That gives us our monstrosity. Our monstrosity does have someone within 1 inch that they did attack last turn. So starts activation with 1 inch. It did not attack. No, starts activation with 1 inch of an enemy during attack. That it did attack. It will move up to its 4 hit point distance towards an enemy, towards the enemy with the lowest hit points within range, and it will make the first attack listed against that. or oh, okay, yeah, okay. Which would be that one. So rather than doing its burst, mind you, because if it did do its burst, it does have. Who's got the lowest hit points out of everyone here? So Cap is out. So we've got a 20, a 23. Doc has the lowest with an 18. Doc instinctively has the lowest. Okay. Although it didn't use its Nightmare Pulse during its last activation, and this seems like a good idea to use its Pulse because it has 3 enemy within 12 inches. This would get all 3 of them stunned, which is to its advantage. I think that makes more sense that it would do that. It will send a burst pulse out, stunning them. So everyone within 12 inches, which is all 3 of them, needs to make a fortitude check against 20, fortitude check against 19, or suffer 2d6 plus 2 and be stunned. So we have Tank, who has a fortitude of 16, rolls a 16 and passes. We have Speedy, who has a fortitude of 12, rolls an 11 and passes. And we have Doc, who has a fortitude of 13, that rolls a 4 and fails, being 4, 5, 6, 7, being a 17. So Doc takes 2d6 plus 2, and Doc is stunned, being 6, being 8 points, putting Doc on 10 hit points, and Doc is stunned. I think Doc may need to heal, physician heal thyself. That would be its first attack. Next is Doc. Doc, being only on 10 hit points, another hit like that is not good for Doc. So I think Doc, I mean, it would be good to heal because that could possibly put Doc up to full hit points. But this thing is on 66 hit points. We have 2 turns down. We need to shoot it. So even though, I mean, the only person who can hit it where it is now fighting Tank is Snipes. So Doc is going to first off attempt to resolve this stun, which is a fortitude check. It needs to hit 20, rolled a 16 with a fortitude of 13, means that's 29, that's a hit. So Doc is no longer stunned, which means Doc is on full combat. So Doc is going to, Doc's got a move of 13. I think Doc is going to reposition himself over here. So Doc has got, that makes that, I feel better about that. 10 was my lowest number. I don't think that's enough. 10 and 10 is a 20. It's 1 point shy. So Doc fires into the monstrosity, doing no damage whatsoever, which gives Snipes a go. Snipes hasn't moved, so that means Snipes gets a 1d20 plus 15, rolling an 8. An 8 plus 15 is 23, which is still enough, beating the defense of 21. Wow, that's not bad, is it? Doing 2d6 plus 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 takes it to 53 hit points. So Snipes get a good shot on it, which then puts us down to Tank, who is still toe to toe with this beast. 9 plus, yeah, plus 5 because of plus 1 hit points. I think I did plus 1 hit points for Snipes just then. I'm going to take 1 hit point off because I think I didn't. 52 points. So now we're on Tank, who has a combat of 13, needing to hit a 21. Come on, Tank. An 8 plus 13 is 21. Very, very lucky. Doing a 1d6 plus 1 damage. 3 hit points. Taking it to 49. It's almost in the extremist, which is on 35. But let's see if we can restrain it. It needs to make a dex check 27. It's got a dex of 20. It rolled a 4. It rolled a 4. It is restrained. Its brain is a bit overloaded by this taser. It is restrained. Wow, good work, Tank. What does that mean? It means when a model is restrained, their movement is treated as 0 regardless of the dex stat. They automatically fail all dex stat checks. But it has a dex to clear it. It's got a dex of 20, so it will clear this state with everything apart from rolling a 1. So that was its turn. So it will attempt to clear this restrained stat. It rolled a 10, so it does clear it. Now it did attack Tank last go. I do believe. Oh no, it did that burst, didn't it, to affect Doc, which made Doc run away. So it is standing within 1 inch of someone that it didn't attack last turn, which means it did not attack. It will attack their enemy. If multiple enemies that it did not attack are within 1 inch, it will attack the enemy with the lowest hit points. Uses if it would use an air attack, it must include this air. So okay, so it did use Nightmarish Pulse last turn, so it won't use that again. It hasn't begun its activation within 12 inches of someone who is stunned. Thus, it will use Sonic Lash, and it will use Sonic Lash on Tank, which is 3 attacks with Combat 18. Again, Combat 18. That was a right-wing soccer hooligan group during the 1980s. Tank has a defense of 31, so it has an attack of 18, leading to hit 31. It rolled a 2, a nat 20, and a 17. So 2 attacks. The 17 first, which is 1d6 plus 2, doing 7 points against Tank. 7 points, putting Tank on 16 points. And then the next one is 1d6 plus 2 doubled, which is 3 plus 2 is 5, doubled is 10, leaving Tank on 6 hit points. Tank must make 2 Dex 18 checks or be blinded, which is 12 plus 15, which is a pass, 12 plus 16, which is a pass. So Tank is not blinded, and that was so Doc moved, Snipe moved, Tank moved, the monster moved. That is the end of round 4. We are now on round 5. Final round. It is on 49 hit points, and hopefully we will get some joy on this. So we need. So Speedy is going to leg it around to get to the other side of here and attempt to get a shot off on it from the front, which makes me feel a bit better because tank is around the back, but still it has cover. Speedy has a combat of 8, so we need to hit a defense of 21. Lowest roll, which is a 6, so that misses. So Speedy runs around and it misses. Where we then have caps, not there, then we have the monstrosity. Okay. The monstrosity did not use Nightmare Pulse, and so the monstrosity is Doc within range? I think Doc is within range. Yeah, so stay where it is and it will use Nightmare Pulse. So Nightmare Pulse is a Fortitude 19. So we have Tank, who's right next to him, with a 16. Rolled a 6, so that's a 22, so it passes. Then we have Speedy, rolled a 2, fails. Speedy definitely fails, doesn't he? Yes, so Speedy fails. And then we have Doc, rolls a 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. Doc fails, so everybody fails. So we have 2d6 damage and stunned. So Speedy takes 2d6 plus 2 damage, takes 4, 5, 6 points of damage. Speedy takes 6 points of damage, putting Speedy on 14, and Speedy is stunned. Doc, who is on 10 hit points. Doc takes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, takes 10 hit points. Doc is out. I don't think we've won this. Okay, Doc is out. And that is its go. So Doc would go next. Doc is out, which puts Snipes. So we've got Snipes and Tank. So between Snipes and Tank, we need to do 49 hit points, which unless they both score crits, I don't think they can do. So Snipes will give it his best. Her best, Kira. Snipes will attempt to do a shot. Snipes has 15. We're looking for a crit. We're looking to hit a 21. Getting a crit would be best. And we rolled a 19, sadly, which is definitely a hit. So we do 2d6. We do 4 plus 5, so we do 9 hit points, putting it down to 40, which still isn't enough. So that was Snipes. So then we have Tank. Tank really needs to get, I think we need to get Tank a pistol or a shotgun, because Tank can drop the shield and then maneuver a shotgun, because this taser on D6 isn't enough. So it's not going to do it. Well, let's do it anyway. So Tank has an attack of 13. 13, a natural 20. Bloody hell. So it will get to respond after this and then again and probably kill Tank. So a natural 20 doing 1d6 damage. A 4 doubled or is an 8. At least we put it down to 32, so it gets to trigger its extremis thing. How does its extremis trigger? Well, it activates because it took a critical hit. If the monster starts its activation in extremis, it will suffer 2d6 damage and take an extra action during its activation. It will use this action as per the order below. Okay, so it was a crit. Actually, it might die. So what we've got? We've got 2d6 is possibly 12. 12 and 12 is 24. Probably not. So that was the end of Tank's go. Oh, no, he could move away, couldn't he? Oh, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I make Tank move away? So Tank will. So Tank has attacked it, and then Tank is going to retreat to here. So it has its extremis activation. It will a monster will activate again. In this event, if the monster starts its activation, then no. What was it? Where did I read that in this room? Oh, critical hit. That's why he did a critical hit. So because he did the critical hit, it activates its second activation because he did the critical hit. In which case, it is in extremis. If the monster starts activation in extremis, it will suffer 2d6 damage and take an extra action during this activation. It will use this activation per the order below. That's what I was reading. So, it automatically takes 2d6 damage to start with. Which is 10. Putting it down to 22 hit points. Wow. Not bad, Tank. Right, so 1. It's going to start its activation with the orange. No, it does not. No, it does not. It's not. Did it do that burst thing its last activation? It would. Yes, it would have, because that's why Speedy is stunned. So it begins its activation with at least one enemy within 12 inches that is stunned. So it will send out deepened nightmares, which means Speedy must make a 20 fort check, which with a fort of 12, adding a 7 is 19. So Speedy fails, which means Speedy takes 5d6 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Speedy takes, so that's 11, 13, 16, 17, 18 points damage, putting Speedy down. Speedy gets blasted by a wave of fear and goes out. So it didn't use its psionic wave thing in its last turn. Tank is within range, so it's the second action of this activation. It will attempt to attack him with Nightmare Pulse. Nightmare Pulse means that he must make a fort check of 19. Should make this a fort check of 19. Tank, who has a 16, rolls a 6, which is 22, so he makes it. So Tank is okay, so that did that, so that's the end of that action. So then it gets another activation, which means it takes 2d6 damage. It takes 8 points of damage, putting it on 14. Wow, nearly. You're still going to stand up, I reckon. So it did do Nightmarish Pulse last activation, so that means it won't do it this turn. It doesn't have anyone with a 1 inch. It will move to the person with the lowest hit points, which is Tank. Snipe's the only one who's going to survive this. Speedy's out as well, which is Tank, so it will move over to here. It will squelchy dash over to here to attack Tank. It does 3 attacks on Tank. So it has an 18 plus these. It's trying to hit 31. It's done a natural 1, a 5 and a 5. So 2 23s and a fumble. So it misses Tank, who would have belonged with that. So it's now standing next to tank with the second part, which would then be, it is within 1 inch, it did attack, so that means it will move its full movement distance from the enemy with the lowest hit points within its range, and then it will attempt to take the first attack on its profile. So it can move, its dex is 20, so it can move up to 20 inches. Can it get to snipes doing 20 inches? It can get to snipes, so it is going to go 17, 18, 19, 20, so it is going to basically come up to here, and it is not, oh yeah, it's just about within 1 inch. It is going to attempt to attack snipes. It didn't use, oh, it's going to use Nightmare Pulse, because it didn't use that last activation, it used the other thing. So that means Snipe needs to make a fortitude check of 19 or suffer 2d6 damage and be stunned. Snipes has a fortitude of 10, rolling a 3, so Snipes fails, takes 2d6 damage, plus 2, takes 5, 6, 7 points of damage, putting him on 18, and he must make a full. Oh no, he failed that, so that's it. So he's stunned. There's no other check. He's just stunned. But based on the fact that that is the end of round 5, it will blob off this way. We still haven't took an alien down. So end of round 5, we have. We've got it down to 14 hit points, which is the best we did so far. Last time we got it down to 84 hit points. Cap is down. Speedy is down. Tank is still standing just on 6 hit points. Doc is down, and Snipes is up but stunned. Lets off some shots at the retreating, screeching brain of doom. But we are not doing too well, and we will get to find out what happens to the alien menace next Thursday, the 26th of July 2023, when we get some whistleblowers who will be allowed to speak honestly of the things they see. One of them was the pilot of the Tic Tac video, who took the Tic Tac, well, took some of the Tic Tac videos, because there's multiple different people who took those videos. There we go. Interesting times. Job done.